Hi, I'm Eric Curlin from 3D Space, the Center for Stereoscopic Photography, Art, Cinema, and Education, the Museum of 3D in Los Angeles, and I want to welcome you to the winter holiday edition of our online 3D screening series. Now, while we've had to temporarily close the museum until it's safe to have visitors again, and we're currently unable to hold our regular screenings in a movie theater, we will continue to bring you these online shows of independent 3D films. Now, before we begin, I want to thank everyone who has signed up through Patreon to become a 3D Space Sustaining member. Your monthly pledges allow us to continue doing these shows. Members also get exclusive access to online content, including the replays of these live streams. Now, if you aren't a member and you'd like to pledge your support, or if you'd just like to make a one-time tax-deductible end-of-the-year donation, you can visit us at la3d.space. Now, today's movie is the independent feature film 40 Below and Falling, a romantic comedy adventure filmed natively in 3D. You'll need 3D glasses to watch the show, and we have two simultaneous live streams, one in side-by-side for 3D TVs in VR, and the other in red Cyan Anaglyph. Now, if you're watching the Anaglyph stream, you want to make sure you put the red lens over your left eye. Now, before we start the show, I want to introduce you to a very special guest. So I am here today with Dylan Pearce, the director of 40 Below and Falling. Dylan, I'm so glad you could join me today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you're up in Canada right now, huh?
Yes, I am.
So I'm so thrilled that we're able to show this in 3D the way it was meant to be seen. How did this film come about? How did you end up making a snowy romantic comedy in 3D?
It started with, I mean, I've always had a love for 3D as a storytelling mechanism, and I had been doing films, and we kind of had this model of a certain way to fund them, and so the films had some success. So I had a bit of leeway with the producers. So I asked if we could do the next one in 3D, and they said, if you can figure out how to do it without blowing up the budget, go ahead. So I spent about 2 years going to every conference, learning from yourself and every other 3D person who would take a phone call from me. And we built our own rig. And then we were able to. I bought the Kini 3D. They're called the Kinifinity cameras. They found them. There was a camera manufacturer out of China who was making these cameras, which had perfect 3D sync. They were shot in 4K, and I put a little bit of money into the film so that it would affect the budget. But essentially, after years of figuring it out, that's how we kind of came to technically being able to do it. Yeah.
I'm amazed that you took on all this extra work of doing 3D in a movie that is so heavily exteriors in the snow. What was it? What was it like dealing with all of this in wintry weather?
It was, it's we were shooting alongside of Inception was shooting really close to us, and this was the first time in Alberta's history that there was barely any snow. So for a movie that was all about this giant blizzard that comes in, it was quite a challenge because we were trying to ship in snow all over, competing with them. And
Oh wow!
so
You
yeah, so it was
you
actually.
never know from watching.
Oh, that's amazing. That's all our production design team who they were, calling every ice rink, beg, borrowing, and stealing anything we could get dumped on us. But the our our 3D kind of expert is Dylan Reed, who's shot countless IMAX films in 3D. So he had a great deal of understanding of how to shoot 3D in the natural landscape and dealing with things like snow and reflections and stuff like that. So he was the one who really helped us get through all those challenges.
And then
Yeah.
the other thing that I've just got to know about is what was it like working with the bear?
Oh, that it was it was extremely difficult in the sense of as it would be with any animal, except this bear, what we had planned to do with the bear, we lost the location, so we had to go to a new one, and the bear didn't know the space, so we were very limited on how we could kind of move around what we could do. When the bear was just the bear and on screen by himself, phenomenal. But getting him to work with our cast for the scenes we need to stitch together was a little bit more difficult. But we were really fortunate that that was an hour and a half away from us. There was this sanctuary that had a bear and wolves that was right there, so we were able to utilize that.
Uh, uh, On to your actual human actors.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Firefly, and I think it's so
Well, Jewel,
fantastic.
yeah.
You've got Jewel Staite in the movie, and she brings a real charm to the main character.
Yeah,
Uh,
she was great.
what would you like our audience to know about the movie?
Oh, you know, it's not I guess for people to look beyond the genre of it, because that's the first question we always get. It's like, why would you do a romantic comedy in 3D? And I don't think really 3D is genre specific. I think it can be used on any genre, and it's just about how we use it to tell the story. We tried to push, as much as we could of the environment into negative space, so that the audience, especially in the theater, you felt like you were sitting alongside them for the journey. So it's not so much just things popping out. It was kind of designed that way. And there was this great 3D storyboarding software that we use. It was called Stereo 3D, where we could draw on a tablet, and then we could design that so it would show you your parallax. You could set your negative, positive, and screen plane. And so our whole production team had an idea of what we were kind of going for, and it was designed with that in mind from the start. So that's how all the sets were built and locations were kind of imagined, knowing that we needed to work with this kind of parallax budget.
That's very cool. I'm always talking about how intentional 3D, when it's all planned, is so much better than when it's just an afterthought at the end of the process. Um,
Hmm.
and that and I've always been an advocate that 3D is great for intimacy, not just spectacle. And I think particularly for this kind of movie, when you're trying to show the relationship between the characters, being able to have that spatial relationship between them as well is really something that is great for the storytelling.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun to play with that, and I was really fortunate that it was a safe place for me to try new things with 3D and how it could be used as a director storytelling tool. So that was really fun and exciting to test that world out. Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy to be able to show this in 3D on YouTube. And any last words for our audience before we run the movie?
I hope you enjoy it. It's a fun romantic comedy set in the winter. So if you don't have snow, you can experience it this way right now. And if anyone has any questions on, how it was put together in any sense, feel free to reach out. Happy to chat.
Fantastic. Dylan, thanks so much for joining me here. And let's watch 40 Below and Falling.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
If you crack my shell, you wear pearls around your neck. In a sea so deep, we find our home among the wreck. And if you mine me out, you find gold for every stone. In a cave so dark, my love, you'd never be alone. But your heart, heart, heart never breaks, no, never sings. Your heart, heart, heart never burns, no, never wins.
hard. Do I get a fist bump? Nice. High five? Awesome. I'll miss you too. Bye.
Well, that's the last of them. You know what time it is now? It's party time. It's party time. Party time. Party time in the teacher's lounge.
Well, I really miss you.
Me too.
I'm really glad you had time to talk. I just wish you could have come out here. You know, it's so beautiful.
I wish I could have made it work with my schedule. So isn't there a going away party being thrown in your honor?
Yeah. I mean, I could go to the party, or I could stay here with you.
Okay, anybody could walk in.
I know, you know, we could... Are you okay?
Yeah, that's why I always keep an emergency water handy. I love you 1 week from now, Mrs. Chalowski.
Aw, I love you too, current and well, forever, Mr. Chalowski.
I should go. Enjoy your party.
Okay. I'll see you soon, honey. Bye. Amazing.
Hey! we were dancing. Kate. I guess this is your last weekend of freedom.
Well, I always want to think of myself as free, whether I'm married or not, Mr. Shea.
You know, it's a party. You're leaving tomorrow. I'm not your assistant principal anymore, you know. I want you to think of me as Joe.
Okay.
And I know you have an interest in literature, you know, and back at mine I have some first editions that I would love to show you.
While I'm sure your first editions are impressive, you know I have my own waiting for me back home. So.
Oh.
Joe, you sly fox. Are you hitting on Miss Katie again?
Yes, I was. But I had a better line this time. I've been working on it, and being dragged away now. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. I have no idea how to explain what that was.
It's okay. I'm used to it by now. And to be fair, he did put a little bit more effort into it. This time it wasn't all just smiling and, you know, bumping against me. So.
Yes, he is getting better.
Yeah.
As we all are, thanks to you.
Oh, you're sweet.
Oh, come this way.
Oh.
Excuse me, everyone. As we all know, tonight is our last night with Kate. She's leaving us tomorrow morning, back to civilization, and to her family, and to get married. We want to thank you for coming all the way up to our little community and giving of yourself. It takes a special person to come up here and live and work with us out of the goodness of their heart. Because we know it's not for the money. It's not for everyone, but you fit right in. And we really wish we could talk you into coming back to us.
Me too.
Kate, although it's only been a short time, we will miss you. We love you. And you will always be a part of our family. All right, enough of this. Let's dance!
Wow, now that was some storm last night, huh? You're waking up to a record snowfall, Sorensen Lake. Be prepared, folks. Our little town is buried. It's going to be days before we get everything up and running again. On the bright side, though, if you're already, you know, toasty warm at home, maybe still in bed, stay there. No one's going to be working today. Stay tuned for more updates. Coming up next in sports, top of the hour, we'll have our hockey report.